Zeina Younes, you are the Deputy Head of the Genetic Diagnostics Department at First Genomix. Welcome to our second podcast of the Genetic Awareness Campaign of First Genomix.
Hi, Dany. Thank you so much for the introduction. It's my pleasure being here with you today.
Thank you for sparing the time to involve us in this. Zeina, I want to ask you about carrier screening. I've heard about the test that you perform at your lab called carrier screening.
Yes.
What is carrier screening?
Carrier screening is actually a genetic screening test. It is performed through whole exome sequencing. So mainly the purpose of the test is to check whether individuals are silent carriers of recessive genetic conditions.
What does it mean? Who is a silent carrier?
Each individual, each one of us, has 2 copies of the same gene. One is maternally inherited, the other is paternally inherited. When we talk about recessive conditions, this means that for an individual to be affected, they need the two copies of the gene to be mutated. So, carrier individuals have only one mutated copy and the other is normal. Therefore, they are not affected and do not have any symptoms of any condition.
Okay, Zeina, now that you have defined the test, please explain to me who do you invite to take the test and why?
We invite every individual, especially couples who are planning on getting married or having a family, to do the test. Doing the test helps the couple understand the risk of having affected offspring. On average, every individual is carrier of 2 to 3 disease-causing mutations. If the 2 partners share mutation the same gene, they are likely or have an increased risk of having affected children.
Okay, so we are worried of having both partners sharing a mutation in the same gene. This is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, and is it possible to have 2 people that are not related share this mutation in the same gene?
Yes, actually it happens. So according to our data, couples who are not related have up to 10% risk of sharing mutation in the same gene. This risk increases to 25 to 30% where the couples are related, meaning that they are we're talking about cousin marriages.
Okay, so just to summarize, you're inviting people getting married, okay, to take the test, whoever they are, and especially cousins getting
Yes.
married. When you talk about this risk, what is the percentage? Do you have a study or a percentage about this risk?
According to the data, the risk is around 25 to 30% for couples who are married, individuals from the same family, to share mutation the same gene. Once a couple share a mutation, they have a 25% risk in each pregnancy of having affected children. So
in each pregnancy?
Yes.
What do you mean in each pregnancy?
So every time the mother gets pregnant, the child has the 25% risk of being affected.
Okay.
And we've seen so many cases where the couple have multiple affected children.
Okay.
So even though the risk of having affected the child is 25% in each pregnancy, we've seen cases where the couple has 100% of their children affected.
What kind of diseases does this test cover?
Our gene panel covers around 2,950 genes. This includes hundreds of conditions. Of the most common conditions in our region, I can name beta thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis, Bardet-Biedl syndrome, primary serial dyskinesia, and the list goes on and on.
Is there something else that the test can reveal?
According to the American College of Medical Genetics and Genomics, we can screen 81 genes that are related to late onset conditions.
Okay.
If the patient agrees to test those genes. So those genes are associated with conditions such as cancer, cardiovascular diseases, and inborn error of metabolism.
Okay, but you need a consent from the
Yes.
patient. What about the process?
The test process is actually very simple. All you have to do is book a pre-test counseling session where the genetic counselor will discuss your medical history. Then a blood sample will be collected. 2 to 3 weeks later, the test results are released, and then you will be booked again with the genetic counselor for post-test counseling.
What if the couple is sharing a mutation in the same gene? What happens? Are there solutions, or is it just we highlight it in the test?
Yeah, so if a couple share a mutation in the same gene, if they have an unplanned pregnancy, they can always go for prenatal diagnosis. Otherwise, the best option is to go through IVF. So during IVF, the embryos are tested through a technique called pre-implantation genetic testing for monogenic disorders, where the embryos are tested for the specific mutations, and only the unaffected embryos will be returned.
Okay, so the main solution is the IVF.
Yes.
If I ask you, why are you inviting people to come to First Genomics?
First Genomics is actually the first lab in the GCC to be accredited from the College of American Pathologists for NGS technologies. Second, our carrier screening gene list is the most comprehensive in the market. It includes up to 2,950 genes.
Compared with others, you mean other labs?
Yes.
Okay.
We have the fastest and shortest turnaround time since we do all our testing in our laboratories, our facility in Dubai.
In-house.
So therefore, we do not need to send any tests abroad.
It takes you how long to regenerate the report?
2 to 3 weeks maximum.
2 to 3 weeks. And you were talking about counseling, right?
Yes, and we offer complimentary pre-test and post-test counseling sessions.
Free of charge?
Yeah, it's free of charge. And for the patient's convenience, we can do it online or in person.
That's excellent. Thank you very much, Zeina, for explaining to us what is carrier screening. And we'll see you in other podcasts.
Thanks for having me.